Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So how good was O'Sullivan in the previous frame? The break of 1-3-3 as he breaks off in the 23rd frame. And the difference with Ronnie there, he's got the good length of cue ball and he's not actually left an easy pot on, but this is one that he may take on, Barry Hawkins. The one down the cushion, he can run round 2 cushions and be on the black. I think these are the ones he's going to have to start to take now to get back into this match. Not too sure he can compete with O'Sullivan in the safety department. He's got to try and have to compete with him in the break building department now.
That's a very good safety from Barry Hawkins. Got to watch the double kiss here. Plays the safety. Nice push to red near the pocket, and he's going to hit the brown full ball. It's a bit of a chance for Barry. A lot of the crowd shouting encouragement. They want to see this final go all the way, but what are the chances of that? Needs a nice little nudge. That's not the one he wanted.
Because of the brown's off its spot, Dennis, the yellow's made more difficult because he'd like to stun the cue ball on the direction of where the brown is now, to swing it around the table, but he can't do that now because the brown's where it is. That's why he's taking the more difficult green.
Just looking at the reds, he's got to get over the right side of the table, you would feel. I'm not sure if there's one available into the right corner, so he's got an awful long way to travel with the cue ball here. And that's a pretty good effort. He's played it with lots of right-hand side. He could do with a favourable little kiss here. And he's got a terrific shot. 4. Well, the family enjoyed that one. You got Steve, his dad, Caroline, his mum, Tanya, the sister.
5.
Well, they're more nervous than Barry is, that's for sure. I can tell you watching, and he's doing really well, Steve. You've got to be proud of him, yeah?
Well, there's been a lot of excellent pots played in this final, but that green to red there from Barry Hawkins, and we often say in commentary, you deserve what you get, and boy, he deserves everything he gets from this shot. Just a little bit of check side, just straightening it up to miss the kiss on the blue, and the weight to perfection.
13.
Just past the 1,000 points mark now, Barry. There's 2 interesting spectators. Noel Fielding, the professional comedian, and Serge from Kasabian. Big Mark Selby fan is Serge, the Leicester group. We've been disappointed not to see Mark Selby here, but we'd be pleased to be watching O'Sullivan and Hawkins in the final.
Yeah, I think he would have been expecting Mark to be in the final, but Barry Hawkins knocked out the current world #1. Yeah, they were up in the Champions Lounge, William. Charming people.
Yes, one of the biggest rock bands in the country at the moment, Kasabian. And Noel Fielding, of course, a very, very funny man. But this is not funny for Barry Hawkins at the minute. He's 13-9 behind. But an excellent chance here, but he needs an angle on the next black, and as we discuss about the pack being a little bit flat at the back, he's going to have to play a good shot
32.
from black to get into the reds. It'd be better to go into the pink.
Yeah, he's got one of your Willie's flat back packs there, so that's what he's thinking about.
Could he hold it for the pink, Dennis, here, if it's straight, this red? Well, it's not straight, I don't think.
He's had a look at the pink spot also there, so just needs one good positional shot here. And that's not bad.
33.
He can stun into these. He doesn't have to screw this. If you screw it, you will stick in the pack, but if you play it with stun, you should be able to open them up and not lose the cue ball. Let's see how he plays it. Well, he's going below center. That's the only problem with screwing it. You're coming away from the reds, where if you stun it, you sort of keep
40.
the white there.
O'Sullivan's the best in the world at that particular shot, Dennis, isn't he? Because he plays like a stun run through the pack.
Tester now for Barry into the middle pocket. This to keep the break going.
Probably play for the brown here, which makes the pot a little bit less... probably did play for the brown, but where's the red
Barry
going?
Hawkins, 40.
Well, he may have got away with it. It's potable, this red. A little unlucky there, went into them, but it goes to them nicely enough from the black.
Couple of reds into the left corner. As we show you this red, you knew straight away it was going to hit the left hand jaw of the pocket. So Ronnie still needs a good long pot to get himself in here. He's got the two reds the left side. It's whichever one will get him nicely onto the black. Out there. If he misses the black, he would have been perfect. This is a bit more difficult. Just clipped the black on the way past. Oh, he's cueing beautifully though. He made that look so easy, Willie. That wasn't an easy pot there by any means. But there we just show you him flicking the black, but he made the black look easy.
Fabulous shot, wasn't it, Dennis? And there's a little wry smile from Ronnie there when he was not expecting that flick on the black, but the black he played was superb. And as in virtually, I was just about to say, there's another friend before when Barry Hawkins has scored big. Ronnie's come straight back and scored big as well, but that was a bad miss for Ronnie. Just didn't stay on the cue ball there. John Parrott was talking in the studio at half-time how sometimes you can decelerate. That was a deceleration in that shot. Looked like he got an electric shock from somewhere, I think, there, Ronnie.
Well, a good opener from Barry Hawkins. Every chance now to make Ronnie pay for that miss. And it will annoy Ronnie, make no mistake about it, because it's a frame
8.
19. He had an unbelievable clearance to pinch that on the black, but I think you could count on one hand misses like that throughout this championship from Ronnie.
Really important to leave Ronnie needing, obviously, more frames tonight than just one or two. So it's very important to take the match this for Barry Hawkins.
Oh, he's put himself under pressure immediately. Flicking the black now means that it's tough. Just watch the white here. Now then, a bit of pressure on this one.
If it was on its spot, you'd fancy him potting it. The fact that it's off its spot, it's not a natural shot. Probably playing plain ball, just white into the pink. How has he covered the pocket?
Barry Hawkins, 9.
Oh, there's not much of a pocket there, is there, to squeeze it in off, but he's got a red that will go past the pink, I think. Or will it? Maybe it doesn't. If the red, well, no problem. He's a bit close to it, but shouldn't be a problem. So a second chance to nick this frame.
1.
Now should Ronnie go on to win this frame, which is a possibility now where the balls are situated. There's been at least 3 frames now that Ronnie is possibly, well, he's definitely pinched 2 already, but he could be pinching another one here. So Barry Hawkins could have been really, really close to Ronnie in this match, if not in front. I mean, you think he's been 3 times now for over 40 points in front in frames and lost all of them. Not perfect though this time.
8.
Yeah, that's where he wanted to be, with the circle, and these reds would have been easier. It's a tricky little one with the rest here.
Just 9.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, that didn't look like it was going to go in. That's probably with the new cloth, the slide in off the jaw of the pocket.
Well, when you consider how good a player Ronnie O'Sullivan is, which means he doesn't play too much with the rest, he's missed 1 rest shot out of 18 in this final.
16.
When you consider he's probably played another 50 shots left-handed as well, which would have meant he'd been using the rest a few more times.
17.
Back in prime position now. Probably play for the red in baulk this time if he doesn't fancy the pink. I don't know, I just wonder whether he'll play the little slow cannon onto the yellow, and if he finishes short he's still on it. No, he's taking the pink first. This will be another body blow for Barry Hawkins. I mentioned earlier he's already lost 2 frames from 50 in front. This could be a third.
23. 24.
And if that was the case, 5 frames in front would be a tall order for Barry, but he did come back against Ricky Walton. He was 4 frames behind and he hung in there, and that was a terrific victory against the man from Chester.
31. Yep.
Now getting the brown back on his spot is ideal for Ronnie, because it's blocking the path for the yellow at the moment. He might not be able to reach it with a normal rest, but as our camera pans in, you can see the yellow won't go past the brown there. That's why he played for the brown.
This is Barry's last hope of a positional shot going wrong, because Ronnie doesn't have a lot of room to get onto the red. There's a chance he could underhit this, but he hasn't. He's finished perfect. And that looks now that Ronnie is going to clinch another frame from 40 points behind.
35. 36. 40. 42.
Yeah, Barry did have his chance, and there was just one shot where he
45.
clipped the black on the way across to leave himself nicely on it, and then he left himself a more difficult one, and this has been the result.
49.
Barry was hurt, of course, when he led by 46 in frame 20. O'Sullivan cleared with 55. He responded 54. With a break of 90 in 21. Ronnie made a 1-3-3 in the next game. He responded then with a 40 break to get well in front in this frame. It looks like O'Sullivan is going to pinch another one. This is frame ball. Oh, the standard has been excellent. Both
60.
players appear in good scoring form, but O'Sullivan looking at his imperious best as we speak. 40 points behind, cleared with 67. O'Sullivan goes further clear and now leads by 14 frames to 9.
How do you rate what is going on right now?
Well, I said it when he first said it wouldn't be that much of a shock to me if he won it because he's so good. But it doesn't take away what an achievement it is, but it just shows how much better he is than everyone else.
Back we go.
Yeah, there's no substitute for sheer natural brilliance. And even though he had that year out, he had been practicing, he'd been doing a few exhibitions. And someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't forget how to play, even in the match arena. As he makes a mistake, there's a pot on, but when you're 14-9 behind, these pots are not easy.
Yes, look how tight that is on the cushion. He's got to keep perfectly still on this and just roll it in dead weight. This is missable. Well played. Well played. A lot of pressure there, as Dennis mentioned. It was so easy to push that thin or thick, but he played it right into the heart of the pocket.
Well, he's been kept away from the table. That break of 133, and then that 67 there. Okay, had a chance in the previous frame, but wouldn't it be nice if he could clinch the frame here with this visit? Just to show everyone that he's not going anywhere. He wants to be out here in the evening session, trying to win his first ever World Professional Snooker Championship. It's never over till it's over.
Purposely playing for either of the two reds in the middle. They both pot.
16.
Little surprise he's taking the outside red to go up for the blue. Oh, the other one doesn't pot, maybe. There we can see it doesn't.
17.
Well, this
19.
frame and one more before the night session, which starts again at 7 o'clock. Can he win them both and get back to 14-11?
20.
Just come up a little bit short. Should be okay. There's a red either side of the pack. Had he have come further out into the table, he could have played the green and disturbed the pink and reds, but very difficult to do that from this angle. Needs to keep rolling another couple of inches and he's absolutely perfect, but it's just pulled up a little bit. He'll have to get the
24.
rest out, but he could slide off the bunch here and finish nicely onto the black. If he just slips off the side of the pack here, he could screw back or he could run through. Is he going to try and free the pink? He's tried to free the pink, but he has done.
25.
Lots of screw, and you can see him follow through with the cue to create the backspin. I might have to leave the black into the same pocket, just stun in around the
31.
back of the black. Just looking at the angle, so he's got to be pretty precise with this. Delicate little shot to leave himself nicely on the black.
32.
Very nicely played. And if that red at the back of the little bunch of 4 goes, he's perfect. And it does, and he'll open the other ones up, but he could have done with just a little bit further up the table.
This is not guaranteed to get
39.
good position here. because he'll have to screw this red in. It's sometimes best to play with the reverse side here to try and bring the white up for blue or bought colour rather than risk playing for the pink. So this could go wrong. But happily for Barry Hawkins supporters, there's a pink pot, so it'll be a bonus. This is close and it does pot.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, he can get that, and he's opened the reds beautifully. So this pink, and it's a great chance. Well, that was absolutely ridiculous what happened there. That is probably the worst kick I've seen this year in the World Championship. Watch the pink. You can't believe this. Look, it's gone full ball onto the red. Well, that's the last thing that Barry needed.
Well, we're just talking, Dennis, weren't we, at the first frame, that they need to start having a thicker cloth now to stop these kicks, because a lot of times it doesn't make any difference. But I mean, there's an example of Barry can get back into this frame, back into the match, and possibly win the frame at that visit, and that, for no fault of his own, got a kick.
Yeah, there was a stat there, 3 kicks to 2. That's a stat that I would love not to be seeing in the game of snooker, because it does make the player look a little bit silly, and it's not your fault at all. I mean,
well, you called it the worst kick of the championship,
9.
Dennis, and I have to agree with you, because the pink clearly potted, didn't it, into both jaws. Surely it can't happen again. Another frame from 40 in front that O'Sullivan can pinch.
16. 17.
it's not going to be easy, but we know that Ronnie relishes the situation when it's even more difficult. He's up at 94% pot success rate. I mean, Barry's at 92%.
24.
That's a very good standard also. Now, what about the tournament pot success rate? 93%. Barry just dropping below 90. But that standard from Ronnie O'Sullivan is exceptional. Takes some beating.
I totally agree with the pundits in the studio there, saying that Ronnie O'Sullivan is the best player in the world. If you take these 4 frames
25.
away now that he looks like pinching from 40 behind and put them onto Barry's score, you know, Barry Hawkins would have competed very well in this match and still may do so.
32. $33.
Well, he's gone a little bit close to the cushion, but that's okay. He can drop the blue in and he'll finish nicely in behind the 2 reds. He's hit it a little harder, but I think he's just about okay. He had a choice. He's got the one to the middle. If it stops up a little
38.
bit short, he's got the other one. Not this time. Ronnie knew.
O'Sullivan, 38.
He knew it wasn't in. As soon as he hit that, he was up and walking round. Always difficult when you're that close to them. Wasn't far away.
Well, not of idea where the cue ball's going to end up here, because he's going to have to come in and out of balk, and with the black being off its spot, needs to avoid the cannon on the green, or he's overcut it. But I think it's safe. It's past the middle pocket, so obviously he can't cut this one in.
Little smile from Barry there. He's one of the nicest lads you could ever wish to meet. Have a look at this. It didn't look as if he could overcut it. 1, 2 jaws and out. Yeah, we're talking mid-session about characters in the game. All these lads are terrific characters. Okay, that may not be laughing and joking on the table, but it's a different game these days. A lot of money in the game for these boys to play for. You know, they're all one-man businesses. And not all snooker players make a lot of money. The top boys do, but you know, it's a tough old sport. It's like golf, and it's getting tougher with the game opening up.
Bit disappointed kissing the blue, but the red's not come really far enough over the left-hand side of the table to make this cut easy. You can cut it in. He'll only just miss the kiss on the red, actually, if he pots it in the middle of the pocket. If he pots it thick, he may miss the kiss quite easily, but once again, he won't have a lot of idea where the cue ball's going to end up. Potted it far too thick, of course. That's the reason he missed the red completely, so we're pretty pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, Barry Hearn's done a terrific amount for the game of snooker. That's why the players have so many tournaments to play and lots of prize money. And there's a gentleman there, 16 times world champion. Barry Hearn looks after him. And if you want to book that man through Barry Hearn for a darts exhibition, make a noise like £8,000. That's what they get these top, well, certainly Phil does. Ronnie's made a mess of the safety. It was a tough one.
Well, Barry leads by 2 points. He'll need all the 3 reds and possibly yellow, and this is an excellent chance to do just that. He had the first chance in this frame. He must have felt he'd let it slip when Ronnie O'Sullivan replied with a break of 38, but he missed that red in the middle. Barry's been given a second chance. And I think, on reflection, he deserves to win one of the last 2 frames.
8. Nine.
9, in some ways, it'd be a lot better to go up for one of the bought colours here rather than
16.
Play from black to yellow, simply because it's not on its spot. It's not a natural place. If you've got a good angle on this red, play out for the green or brown, and then it's absolute certainty to get onto the yellow. So he's just looking to see if I play for the black, you know, have I got enough room to negotiate the path from cushion to get onto the yellow nicely. If it was on its spot, no problem. Don't blame him at all for this, but just needs an angle on this
17.
green to be able to get onto the yellow.
Yeah, he's absolutely perfect on it. That took all the risk out of having to get from black to yellow.
$22.
Now just the green needed, and it has pulled up. I thought he was going to be hampered with the blue, but he's not. Well done, Barry Hawkins.
25.
And the family are certainly pleased. His sister Tanya getting really excited there. Quite understandable.
$29. $34.
Nicely played.
$40.
Yeah, that's a terrific clearance. He had an earlier break of 40. He had that turn.
In the match here.
Yeah, but I think what's happening today is just enjoying the whole situation of it, the atmosphere that's around it. It's such a massive event. You know, everybody's here, all these important people. I think he's just enjoying the occasion, and he's totally relaxed.
Yeah, definitely. All right, but he's got work to do. 4 behind again.
I think, Dennis, in this semi-final, I mean, he just almost looked like a fish out of water. Thought it was a great chance to get to my first Crucible final. Probably the occasion got too much for him. Did really well to win it, and now he's totally relaxed.
You hit it on the head, Willie. That's exactly what happened. Both Barry and Ricky Walden. And he was 12-8 behind, and somehow he dug very deep to get himself into the final, and he is enjoying himself out there. That's what you start playing the game for. As the crowd appreciate that good safety. Your ambition is to get to the Crucible when you turn professional, and your ambition is to one day lift the trophy. Just over the 6 hours, and it's been compulsating snooker. I just invented a new word there, Willie. Compulsating snooker.
I must admit, I get myself in a tangle now and again, Dennis. Bit short of pace, but luckily I don't think there's a red that he can get back to balk from. I mean, a potable red, so it may just be a safety shot. There's a couple of reds at pot, but he'll be crewing into other reds.
Tricky here just to avoid the black and the pocket. Judged perfectly.
Same scenario for Barry here. 2 reds that are potable, neither of which he can get back to balk, so he's going to have to find a safety shot. And not easy. That red on the left-hand side cushion is causing a problem here in this safety exchange. And if he plays the blue's the problem as well, getting back into balk here if he plays around 2 cushions. Has he missed the blue? He has. Well done. That was the thing. You had to miss that blue then.
Already the reds are getting very awkward here. That's what it's all about. Lady on top of the World Championship trophy that's been around since 1927. Who's going to get their name on it this year? Will it be Ronnie for the 5th time? Or will we see a new name on there? This last frame could tell the story. Because if Barry can take it and get back to 14-11, there'll be a lot of snooker to be played this evening. '18 is the magic number, and you can see all the famous names on there. Oh, what a shot he's played there. Trying to just nestle on the red. That's just to the left of the black. Looks good to me. Looks very good to me. He might be back in a similar position again. Not this time. No snooker and a path back for Barry.
Slightly misjudged safety, but no red possible that he can get onto a colour, so we're playing back into the balk area again. Both players have been under hitting that kind of shot when they're playing 2 cushions back into balk. There were suggestions that Taylor was playing a little bit slower yesterday, but it appears to be playing a little bit slower today, I think, the way they're playing the safety shots.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about the table and the new cloth, but this was Ronnie yesterday just checking to see if the cloth was maybe a little loose there. But I think when they're in the balls there's no problem. He was checking both sides of the table. They still get the reaction out of the cloth. It might just be slightly slower, but not necessarily a bad thing, and I think the breaks that have been made have proved that.
Yes, I think the standard in this file has been absolutely fabulous. I mean, both players have been scoring pretty heavily. Both had a break of 133. Well, this is one of those he can definitely take on Barry. He's just looking to see if he can screw back off the cushion just before the middle pocket and be nicely on the pink. But he's got to... He can't afford to come too far over just in case he misses it.
I think he's looking at this red, and it looks to me he would cannon into the black and maybe bring it into play if he pots it. He's freed the black. He was hoping to knock the black towards the pocket. He made a pretty good job of it. Deserves to be on the pink, but it's not a gimme. He's unlucky with the kiss there. Mind you, I think at one stage he would have been concerned about the pink, as it
7.
looked as if it was going to hit the jaw of the pocket there, but not a favourable kiss on that red. Miss along the cushion. Dear me, this is difficult, the one next to the black he's looking at. If it's tight on the cushion, he could take it on, but he's looking for something else, but there's very little else available, only a safety, and not easy to get a good safety shot.
Well, that really is unlucky. I mean, OK, the pink didn't go in the centre of the pocket, which have made the position slightly more difficult, but it's very unlucky not to have some sort of pot on here. He's almost on 2 reds into the left-hand corner, but not nicely on either of them. It looks like he's found one onto the... Doesn't look like it passes the green, but I presume it must do. It's amazing, he's awkward on all 3 reds that are potable then. He's looked at the one past the green, the one past the black, and the other one past the black.
He can play this one, but will he play it with a bit of pace or try and drop it in, get a bit of safety if he misses? Played it with a pace. Nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't go over the middle pocket.
Barry Hawkins, 7.
He's got a good cue ball, as you can see. If you were right in behind that red, you could pot it into the left middle pocket, but close to the cushion. Still tried it, but that was near enough impossible from that position.
Oh, nice angle to get onto the black, but it's too dangerous. That's the reason he's queuing back. Queuing with bottom on the ball to take the ball back into baulk. I mean, the easier pot would be to roll it in, but if he'd have missed it, he'd have left the 2 reds that are behind the black spot in the right-hand corner. Lovely angle there, but it was risky to get onto the black. Very rarely these days you see top players play a double, but that's a double that could, with a catalyst of making a rather large break in this last frame of the afternoon session.
Funny enough, that double was his first pot for 18 minutes, and he's got an angle to get up to the red above the blue.
Three.
The last frame of the last session, I've never seen Ronnie concentrate so hard to take it. He played some unbelievable tactical play and little snookers, and he knew the importance of opening up that 3-frame advantage. He's doing the same here.
Four.
He's going to be hampered. Maybe tied up, and the way he's finished on this red, he couldn't do anything else when he just dropped that in. He's just looking to see if he could possibly pot the black. What a bonus that would be. We'll find out shortly whether it pots. Ronnie thinks
12.
It will.
Just enough room to hit the red that's directly above the black. And that's turned out to be perfect. And this looks like a chance now to win the frame. Just
19.
Just move that red just above the black, just by a fraction, which made the black easier to get onto now. When he's shaking his head, maybe feels that the angle he has on the red is not perfect.
Yeah, I think he's worried if he cannons the other red that he'd go out of position, but he should be okay. Well, he didn't risk playing for the black, so
20.
he's perfect on the blue. So he took the element of risk out of it there, Willie.
great shot, wasn't it? I've got to be honest, I thought he'd play for the black, but he thought he could have flicked that red towards the black and maybe not on it, but he's absolutely perfect on the blue.
It's taken Ronnie over 3.5 minutes for this break
25.
because he's taking his time. He knows the importance of it, which is incredible when you think back
26.
to that maximum break in 1997 when he made it in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. It'll never be equalled in the history of the game, that.
Slightly, you'd like to have been exactly straight on this red, but there's a gap in between the two reds to screw across and play the black
31.
into the right-hand corner. I presume it pots in there. Not too sure they can get onto it in the same pocket. No, could hold it for that
32.
pocket, so this is a great chance now to win this frame and take a 5-frame lead.
94% pot success rate. That is going some, I can tell you.
Yeah, the boys were saying in the studio, weren't they, that Barry Hawkins with a 91% pot success rate would have beaten most players in the tournament. He's unlucky to have played Ronnie O'Sullivan in top form.
39.
Yeah, it would have beaten most normal players.
40.
Because the angle he has, he may risk playing the cannon onto the red and pink at exactly the same time, which pushes them both out of the way. There it is, little cannon to bring them both out of the way. Perfect on the red.
47.
Looks like he may have to go for the blue here, but that shouldn't prove a problem.
48.
And we talk about his positional play again, and he's just absolutely perfect every time. One of the sessions against Stuart Bingham, I watched it back at the hotel. It was as good a session as I've ever seen Ronnie play. And he has played some fabulous sessions of snooker.
Just shows you the standard Barry needed to play. He's
53.
made 5 breaks over 40 in this session this afternoon in the 8 frames, and is only going to win 3 of them.
54.
He's
59.
going to need one more red to make absolutely certain of this final frame of this session.
60.
And the red above the 2 is available. So it's going to be 15-10, but I'll tell you what, it's far from finished.
65.
Barry Hawkins will have something to say this evening, you would feel. If he gets a chance, that is.
66.
Once again, this break didn't look on when he started. The black was pretty surrounded by a lot of reds. He finished
73.
low on the first 2 or 3 blacks. The pink was out of commission because the reds
74.
were around it as well. And he's made 73 and counting, which could possibly end up being the 54th century of the tournament and the 13th for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Another exhibition positioning shot. The break goes to 81.
82.
It's all about the tricky red along the cushion as to whether he gets another century.
If he does, of course, it'll extend the winning
89.
centuries in the final to 6.
90.
And he's got to get nicely on the green. Has he got an angle to get over in behind it?
97.
Doesn't appear so, does it? So the green at distance for a century.
99.
Well, genius at work. Another excellent century break from Ronnie O'Sullivan, his 6th in this final. And he looks totally zoned in.
Well, we've seen Stephen Fry there. We've seen Damien Hirst with a big smile on his face.
11.
This is fabulous to watch.
Well, this has been a
117.
wonderful session of snooker. Barry Hawkins would be sitting there thinking, how on earth have I only won 3 frames? I've played great. But that's what happens when you play a player at the top of his form. The audience stand up, a standing ovation from this packed Crucible crowd.